In this video, I'm going to show you the exact campaign structure we are using for creative testing. The goal of this campaign is to keep us organized and to continually find new winning creative and copy. First, we're going to start by hitting create. Then we're going to select sales, continue, manual sales campaign, continue. So you can call this whatever you'd like. I typically put our company initials at the beginning, and then we're just going to call this Creative Sandbox. Creative Sandbox. And this is an ABO campaign. We want to keep the ad set separate so we can run multiple tests within this campaign at any given time. We'll scroll down and select next. We'll select website. We can leave the ad set name as is for now. You want to select your correct pixel. If you haven't set up conversion tracking, go ahead and follow the steps with this button. If you are using Shopify, I suggest using the Simproses app in order to properly connect your pixel to your Shopify store. We're going to select purchases. And we're going to leave the budget at $20 a day. We'll set this for tomorrow just because it's so late in the afternoon. Typically, we'll start an ad at 12 a.m. just because it can take multiple hours in review before it actually goes live. As we scroll down, we're going to switch to an original audience. So we're opting out of the Advantage Plus audience. Use original audience. Now, for most products, we typically leave the age and gender wide open. However, for the specific product in this ad account, we are selling Apple Watch bands specifically for females. And we have tried in the past running them to males as a gift idea, but at the end of the day, running to females has always run more profitably for us. So we are going to change the gender to women, and the age we find that converts best for us is 18 to 35. So we're going to update the age to 18 to 35. Everything else we're going to leave the same. Then we will select next. We'll enable the ad preview. Create ad, we'll leave this as is. We're just going to work with one image right now to start and really focus in on coming up with winning copy. So we're going to add an image. Going to make the dimensions original. We typically see best results when enabling all the optimizations. Done. Now let's go back to the ad set for a minute. Before we get into the ad copy, let me explain exactly what we are testing here. More than looking for a winning image, a winning video, a winning headline, or a winning body copy, we are looking for a winning avatar, a winning persona. Who is that persona online that every time we speak to them, our ads run profitably for this specific product? That is the purpose of our Creative Sandbox. More than changing an image or slightly changing a headline, the biggest needle mover we have found is changing the avatar who we are speaking to. Now, you may think speaking to a different avatar is as simple as changing your interest targeting. However, from everything we are seeing, interest targeting most likely won't be around forever. Meta is continually removing interest and pushing people towards broad targeting, and we don't see that getting reversed. So what is working best for us is targeting through our ad copy and creative. We have found that Meta does a great job at targeting the right people if your ad clearly depicts who that ad is for. So I want you to take a 5-minute break, go grab a journal or a notebook, and come up with at least 20 different personas of the different types of people you think would love your product. Now, if you have historical data to base this on, that's great. If you don't, go ahead and just use logic, but I want to encourage you to think outside the box and be specific. If your product is for moms, think of 10 different scenarios that a mom is in, 10 different personas that a mom could be. Maybe it's a stressed out mom that is always struggling to get her kid to school on time. Maybe it is a single mother that is short on time. Maybe it's an entrepreneurial mother who is juggling multiple businesses and multiple hats at a time. You really want to dig into the psychology of exactly who your ideal avatar is so you can speak directly to them at their current state. Now, in your ads, calling out this persona doesn't necessarily mean you have to call them by a name. A persona can also be associated with a current problem that they have. Go ahead and pause this video, take as much time as you need to come up with your 20 personas, and then come back to this video. Now that you have your 20 personas, I'm going to show you how we build out 5 of those in this account. If you wanted to build out 20, you would continue with the same exact process and method. But for the sake of time, we're going to build out 5 different personas within this Creative Sandbox. The first persona we're going to target is a bargain shopper. This is simply someone that loves sales. For this specific product, we have found that bargain shoppers are one of our ideal customers. Now we'll click into the ad and we'll simply call this the same thing, bargain shoppers. it's great to start with a creative you know works. We've used this image in the past and it converts really well for us, so we're going to start with this. If you don't have an image or video that has converted for you in the past, or you're just starting your ecom store, go ahead and start with 3 images as a place to start. So essentially you would build this ad out 3 times, but only change out the image in each. So you can call this Bargain Shoppers Image 1, Bargain Shoppers Image 2, Bargain Shoppers Image 3, and you would have 3 total ads in this ad set to give it a higher likelihood of performing for you. But every ad would use the same copy, the same headlines, and the same body copy. Now with this approach, we will typically start off with 3 body text and 2 headlines. We like keeping our ads clean and typically don't use the description section, but that's totally up to you. So remember, every aspect of copy in this ad should be geared towards bargain shoppers. So we're going to start off with some copy that we just wrote out. Now because this copy is a little longer, we're just going to paste this in to start. So we have 50% off site-wide sale, no code needed. Unique Apple Watch bands for creatives, adventurers, and fashion icons. We're focusing on the sale, but we're addressing who this is for at the same time. We're trying to attract that creative type because our bands are colorful and more on the abstract side. Elevate your Apple Watch today. Watch band types, genuine leather, vegan leather, metal, silicone, nylon, over 6,000 verified reviews. Get yours now while supplies last. So we focus on the sale, but we talk about the benefits. We explain why they should trust us with the reviews, and then we end with a call to action. Really simple and straightforward approach. Now we're going to add 2 more variations of body copy geared specifically for bargain shoppers. And all your ad copy doesn't need to be this long. A lot of times we find that shorter copy converts even better for us. So for our second body copy, we're going to put, we never do this, 50% off all Rev Bands Apple Watch bands for a limited time. Very simple, very straightforward, but trust me, this is very effective. Now for our third body copy, we're going to put bargain shoppers. So we're straight up calling them out. Bargain shoppers. We're doing something crazy. For a limited time, all Rev Bands watch bands are 50% off. You heard that right. The only catch is we can only run this sale while supplies last. So click the link below and pick up your Rev Bands watch band today. Very simple, very straightforward, but trust me, this type of copy converts like crazy. Now we're going to move down to the headline. Now the headline is one of the biggest needle movers, so you want this to be as clear as possible. Remember, the goal is to speak specifically to bargain shoppers and try to draw them in through your copy. So because they love sales, we're going to start off with huge sale. 50% off all Rev Bands watch bands. And this can be similar to, we're going to put 50% off sale ending soon. Very simple, very straightforward. Because our image is so clear on what we're selling, you don't always have to say it in the headline. So we're going to change the call to action to shop now. We're going to add our URL, make sure our pixel is selected, and then press publish. And you always want to publish without adjustments. Meta will continually prompt you to expand your targeting, but we want to leave everything as is. So publish without adjustments. So now we've officially finished our first persona. So now we're going to duplicate this ad set and create a second persona. 3 dots, duplicate. You can leave this in the original campaign. So for this persona, we're going to address people that want to impress their friends or family. So we're simply going to call it wants to impress. Now remember, a persona doesn't have to be a title. It can be a state of mind that this person is in. The main goal here is to enter into the conversation in their head that is already happening and place your product as the solution to that problem that they're processing. So we're going to take that same title and put it on the ad level as well. So wants to impress is what this is called. You can call it a persona, an avatar, or even an angle. So as we scroll down, we're going to leave the image the same and we're simply going to change the text. A lot of times I like to start with the headline and work backwards because the headline typically has a much greater impact than the body copy. So because this person, if we get inside their head, wants to impress other people, we're going to put headline 1 as Apple Watch bands that will turn heads every time. Limits you on how many words you actually see, so we're still going to go with this. So Apple Watch bands that turn heads every time. You'll find that the headline doesn't always have to fit perfectly. In fact, one trick that we have used is making it look like the sentence continues and just putting ... to get people to click the Shop Now button out of intrigue of what the rest of that headline says. So don't worry too much if your headline doesn't fit perfectly in this space. So for the second headline, we'll put Rev Bands, Watch Bands, impress every time. Another approach we can do with this is literally say Rev Bands, watch bands, make a statement. You can even just say make a statement, and it will attract the right type of person that wants to impress people and wants to make a statement. So now that we're good on the headlines, we're going to move up to the body copy. So for this first body copy, we're going to put Rev Bands, Apple Watch bands are a showstopper and turn heads every time. Make a statement and pick your style today. For the second body copy, we're going to put, if you're looking to impress, Rev Bands, Apple Watch bands were made for you. It's time to have the watch band your friends and family won't be able to stop talking about. You see, these are just slightly different, but each is going to resonate differently with people that want to impress others. Sometimes you'll find that multiple variations work for you, which is great. You can continue to run multiple variations to the same type of person. So for the third variation of body copy, we're going to do something slightly different. We're going to use a review, but still get the same point across. So we put this in quotes and it says, everywhere I go, people compliment my Rev Bands watch band. I have 6 of them now, a different band for every outfit. Jessica K. Now, people don't always want to hear from the brands selling the product. A lot of the times they will trust consumers more than the brand. So this angle can be very effective. Sometimes we will try 10 different reviews until we find one that takes off for us. So continue to try new reviews with new angles. So feel free to use this reviews approach with as many avatars or personas as you'd like. So now that we have this ad finished, we're just going to hit publish. Now for the sake of time, we're just going to do one more, but this should give you a clear picture of exactly how we build out avatar after avatar, persona after persona, not just based on how the person identifies, but by entering the conversation that people are already having in their head and positioning our product as the solution to that problem. Now we're going to duplicate this ad set again, and we're going to target people that feel that their watch band is boring. Now you can create an additional avatar for someone that feels that their watch band is old or is worn, but we're going to focus on people that feel that their watch band is boring and that our product is the solution for that. So we've retitled everything Watch Band is Boring, the ad set and the ad. And again, let's start with the headlines because these have the biggest impact. Let's try this. Ditch the boring watch band and become a fashion icon. You could even say with Rev Bands, but that's most likely not going to fit, so we're just going to leave it as is. So for this next one, we're going to put elevate your Apple Watch band with Rev Bands. Simple, straightforward, but we're positioning our brand as the go-to for this product. So now we're going to scroll up to the body copy. Now don't be afraid to try one of these headlines as your actual body copy. I wouldn't do it in caps like we typically do for headlines, but these would easily make great body copies. For now, let's just do something similar. So for our first body copy, the last watch band you will ever need. Now you can use this angle to speak to how long the watch band will last. Like this would probably work great for people that are worried about having a durable watch band and wanting to make sure they don't have to constantly replace it. But this can also speak to someone's wardrobe and style. And I think we can change this slightly to clear that up a little more. So instead of the last watch band you will ever need, let's say the last watch band your wardrobe will ever need. So it speaks more to their outfit and how they will come across. So for our second body copy, let's try this. Very similar, but worded slightly different. The only watch band you need to elevate you can either say your Apple Watch or your wardrobe. Let's say your Apple Watch, because we already used wardrobe in the previous body copy. And for the third body copy, let's speak even more to that boring issue. I love my Apple Watch, but the bands that came with it were super boring. I didn't realize my watch could feel luxurious until I found Rev Bands. And you could change that slightly, but you get the general idea. It's specifically speaking to people that have that feeling that, man, I love my Apple Watch, but the band options are boring. And I have heard people talk about that, so we're going to address that specifically in this review. And if you're going to write reviews, I would definitely suggest at least changing the names. You can also add emojis into this with 5 stars after the name if you want to do that as well. But either way, this should clearly speak to people that are bored with their current Apple Watch band and are looking to elevate their wardrobe and Apple Watch. So now within our creative sandbox, you can see how we've specifically addressed 3 different types of people and how you can continue to do this an infinite amount of times. The more avatars you test, the more audiences you will find to scale into. What we find is that every audience has its limits. But if you can find 5, 10, 15, 20 different audiences that you could speak to and scale into, so you can continue to scale your brand more and more. Now, when using this approach of using 3 different body copy and 2 different headlines, one tool you're going to want to use is this breakdown tab. As you begin to see purchases come in, you're going to want to see which headlines and body copy are working best within each audience. Now, you can break these out into individual ads if you prefer, but this is the method that we use, and we'll simply use the breakdown tab, and then you could segment by headline or by text. When you select one of these options, whether it's text or headline, you will see how much has been spent on each, the cost per purchase for each, and the return on ad spend for each. Now, before you decide on one headline or body copy being a winner, we suggest having at least 4 to 5 purchases before narrowing that ad down to just that one body copy and headline. Now, the goal here is to continue to run tests until you find at least one winning headline and one winning body copy for each of these avatars or angles. We typically suggest spending 2 to 3 times your average CPA on each of these ads before relaunching them with new copy. So if your average cost per purchase is $10, you would spend $20 to $30 on each of these ads, and if they aren't running profitably by that point, you would duplicate the ad, launch 2 new headlines and 3 new body copy, and you would turn off this original ad. And if it helps you stay organized, you can call this 1.1. And then if you need to create a second ad, you can call it 1.2. And then if you need a third ad, 1.3. Everyone uses different strategies when it comes to staying organized, so whichever of those methods work best for you, go for it. Now, another thing you can test is once you find a winning headline and body copy for each of these, you can simply duplicate the ad and try swapping out the image with a new image or with a video and keep the copy exactly the same. The goal is to find a winning headline and a winning body copy and then be able to use that with as many creatives as possible. This is how we structure and optimize our creative sandbox campaign. This allows us to find our winning avatars, our winning copy, and our winning creatives, and is the foundation of our advertising success on Meta. The more you test inside of your creative sandbox, the more successful your brand will be and the further you'll be able to scale. We'll see you in the next video.